Hello, everybody, and welcome to my webinar, How to Make Logistics Cost Baseline, as I named the webinar. And I'm very glad to be here. I'm getting up to now, I think, about 20 webinars soon. So it's getting a little bit more easier by each time, but always a little bit stressed and thinking if something will go not as planned. But we are here, and I have put here in the chat question. I've asked that before, where you're from, and I see that that Dave Eriksson is here. He's from Canada. Nice to have you on board. Hopefully, you can get some information from the webinar, and from you other guys. Please tell me where you're from. I'm from Västerås in Sweden. That's about 1 hour inland from Stockholm. Sorry. And currently the weather is not so nice. It's been raining all the day, so it's not nice. Yesterday it was better. Hopefully the weather is somewhat better at your end. So please just use the chat box for any kind of questions that you have. I will take up them later on, or as we go along, if I can, if I find we can do that. So, but please type in where you're from and let me know. And also, I have here below. I've just opened. I made some polls. Of course, you can answer them as the webinar goes along, because I mean, I will be covering some of the details that I've been asking from. Oh, hi, Dates is here. It's from Belgium. So we have a little bit of international crowd, at least here. I know that there is no optimal time for having a webinar, so I just run with the time, and then I record everything and send out to you guys. So to go ahead, I will switch into my presentation mode. And if there are some problems with sound or picture, let me know. I'm looking at the chat as well, so it's good to have that. Let's see. So today's webinar: how to make logistics cost baseline, and that is the title of that, and that can of course be different from different people. Hopefully, I can help you out in getting a better understanding how easy you could actually do it with the tools that I'm using today. Yes, and as well, you can put in questions in open questions below if you have anything that I can take up later on. So today's workshop, what I want to go into first is a supply chain app that I've been using, supply chain map. Then we'll go into shipment analyzer. We'll go into center of gravity, shipment cost analyzer, and then the shipment cost analyzer is a new one. So I'm just trying it out, and I will give you some insight, feedback on it that you can hopefully use. Then you will have the demo of, I will show you the other apps, because there are a lot of other apps in this. And then finally, I have a special offer for you that I will tell you about in the later. And of course, open Q&A. So that's me. A little bit. Picture is maybe not so good, but those who don't know me, David Leifson. Some fun fact about me is I'm Icelandic. living in Sweden. I still have I still am Icelandic citizenship. I've been living here for about 15 years now. I've been in the logistics business for about close to 20 years. I think it will be next year. So I will just say 20. It sounds good. I've been a lot in logistics and transportation, warehousing, and supply chain optimization, and all different kind of stuff on all sides: shippers, logistics provider, consultant, and I've seen a lot, I can say. And since what was it, in April, I've started a webinar series called Digital Logistics, where I've had some very interesting companies come along and present their platform or solution, and how they can help you in terms of freight and purchasing and networking and so on. So it's been it's been a really interesting journey, and now this webinar is from me. So it's what I'm providing with the help of the supply chain app that I'm representing, of course. And I am a very active user of LinkedIn, where I have connected with you guys. So that is where I connected with you, and I'm happy to meet you here on the supply chain apps, on the webinar. Sorry, I got a little bit of disruption here. I can see there are some more people in, and for you other guys that have joined us, please tell me where you're from. I have Tate here from Belgium, and then I have Dave from Canada, Ottawa. So just write in the chat where you guys are from. So let's start with my number one app, and I will. Oh, hi, Martha from Denmark. Nice to have a neighbor country here. We will be going into, I will be showing you, the first one is called Supply Chain Map. And I know that it is very interesting to do a supply chain map. I mean, it could be a supply chain map of your customer, of your suppliers, or it could be a relation in transportation and so on. And doing it on your own through Excel and looking up location, it takes time. So with the supply chain map from Lookup that I've been using, you can do it really simple. You, for example, if you think about customer data, you want to map where your customer are on a national or global or European or US scale. So you take up where your customer are from. Of course, that's best to get from the ERP system. You take that data and export that into Excel, where I will show you now in a short time, and you just press calculate in the supply chain app, and this is the information that you basically need. What you need to do a supply chain map is just a name of the for example, shipment or customer and the country, but then we will just have one big dot in the country. So what I would say would be the best thing is to have the name, the country, the zip or postal code, and the city, because and then you would just have in quantity, you could just have one if you want, because a quantity could be just one customer. It could be if you are maybe sending, in this case we are sending some amount of things to the customer, so it can be whatever, and it is possible as well to have layers, like in this case it's like, south and a supermarket. And by just having this information and using the supply chain map, what you get is this picture. So because now the system has found out the location, the geolocation of your, for example, customer. And the thing that was put in layers here earlier, you can see that there are some red, green, blue, and yellow, and the red one is west region, middle, south, and east. Of course, if you would not have any relation or layers, it would be all blue. So this could be your customers, this could be your suppliers, or something else. It's really interesting, and once you have the data in the supply chain maps, it is super simple and super fast actually to do it. So I mean, this one I usually do first when I'm doing some like consulting for a customer in terms of finding the location where they are. If I want to do a RFQ for a transportation optimization or anything else, I will do the supply chain map, because it's really visual and you can understand where your customers are or suppliers. And in most cases, you have kind of idea where they are, but this makes it much easier to understand the whole supply chain map. And this is also, it's possible to do a relation. I mean, if you would do a relation in this one, it would be like, you know, going from a warehouse to the customer, so it would be more detailed. I'm just showing you a part of it. Please give me a question if you have any about supply chain maps. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. I've been doing this for a while, using the supply chain maps and other apps, so I kind of tend to maybe talk too fast and think that people will understand it as easily as I do. So if you have any questions, just let me know. The next one that I am I get sometimes so confused with all the language, speaking Icelandic, speaking Swedish, and then English. So it will be, sometimes I talk the wrong language. The next one, that app that I use is called Shipment Analyzer, and that is, as the name says, it's an analyzing of your shipments. It could be your distribution. You have a distribution, let's say, of 6 months, 1 year, because I mean, in transportation, you might want to look at 1 year distribution to have like a good thing for RFQ to send out. So you take out your distribution data from the ERP system, and as before, just export it into Excel, and sometimes you need to clean it, and then calculate, and then we'll see what will happen. What will happen when you have the data in here is you will get a lot of information. You will get a 2D shipment analysis dashboard, where your like, you know, hot points are, or where the most frequent shipments are. You can see the yellow one is less frequent, and the more blue is highly frequent. And you can see it. It's based on volume and distance, and then this one is weight and distance. So it's a different parameters. You can have in this shipment analyzer, you can look at it based on shipment per weight class and category, or a volume class per category. So you can really see where the main kind of shipments are, where the category is with the highest number of shipments, or the most frequent. And you have a lot of data here, and I'm just showing you a part of it. You can look at shipments per weekday. and per weekday and category, and per weight, volume per weekday. So you can get a lot of information about how your shipment are looking. And then in this case, I'm only having like few dates, and this is in February. But what you can get out from this is you can, of course, if you have like, you can put it all if you have, for example, 1 year, you can look at 6 months or 1 month, or just define down to what you want to look at. And then you can really see how the trends are. If there are some days that are more going out than the other. So it's a really interesting tool, and I have actually used this when I was making an RFQ for a freight for a Swedish company, and this was a part of the RFQ document that I was sending out to get the transporter to understand where the real where the bulk of the shipment are. Let me see. Does Shipment Analyzer break out different classes of shipments, such as container, break, bulk, liquids, cold chain? It can be, the Shipment Analyzer can be in different kind of classes. This is only for put in LTL, less like pallet and full load. But in this example, but it can be broken down into the different kind of classes of shipments. So that's it's highly customizable and possible to do different things. The thing is, what takes most of the time is often the data cleaning, because you might not get the best data from the ERP system or other system, but once you have it correct set up, then the app will calculate, and it's really fast in doing so. I will show you a little bit later, but it's possible to do a different kind of shipments. Hopefully, I'm not going too fast. I understand that I had perhaps a little bit too many apps in there, but I just wanted to give you a kind of insight in how I have been using it, and what kind of application I have been using in my work when I'm doing some RFQ or finding a cost baseline. And the next one, which I like to use, is center of gravity. And there is actually 2 different kinds of center of gravity available in the application. There is the center of gravity, the simple one. And there is center of gravity plus, where you can dig in deeper if you want to have like parameters like weight and volume and revenue included into the center of gravity. But in this case, it's just the simple center of gravity, the points. This could be where your center of gravity, where most of your customers are. This could be really good, for example, if you're presenting this to a transport company, or if you're a transport company, and then you could see where the center of gravity is for customers. And then easily you could understand, okay, that for this flow of transportation or distribution, we should have the split terminal, the terminal that will get all the inbound traffic in this location, because now we are closest to this 1 or 2 location where we're closest to all the customers. So let's look at the example. What we get in here is a center of gravity. We just pull in data, we make a calculation, and then what the system does is provide us with a dashboard, center of gravity. And in this case, it's three centers that is in this data that you will see on the map soon. You will have total weight per center, total customer percentage, so you can see how the split is. And of course, I mean, if this would be just one center of gravity or 5 or 6, you would have that in here as well. You will have like, you know, how many number of customer per center and customer per distance class and some other features. Then what you get in this case, it's from India, and we calculated out that we want to look at 3 center of gravities. And all the blue dots here, they are the customer, and you see a gray line going from the location, warehouse location or the center of gravity here to the customer. So that means the customer belongs to that center of gravity, and that could be, for example, a terminal, or if you want to set up a warehouse in that location. And then you could present that to for example, the transportation company, and show them how your distribution is looking. And of course, you can model this in different ways. It's possible to take up scenarios to make a different kind of calculation. Maybe 5 centers, maybe just 1 center. Of course, the 1 center would be somewhere in the middle, but I mean, if you are looking into several centers of gravity, it is possible to do that, and just put it on top as a layer, and you will have it. You could take it like, you know, put it on top and hide it, or make it visual as you go along. So the center of gravity is a really interesting application. And it is once you have the right data, it is very powerful, and it is possible to go even further to, as I said, in this case, it's just center of gravity with the location of your customer, but it would be possible to have additional parameters like how much volume, how much weight, how much revenue is to each customer, and then let the system calculate out what would be the optimal, for example, 3 scenarios. And that might come out totally different from what we are looking at here. Then the next one that I wanted to show you, and this one is a new app that has come into the supply chain app, and this one is called Shipment Cost Analyzer. And the Shipment Cost Analyzer is actually what we have in LogHub is we have a lot of information about transportation cost. However, this is only pan-European road traffic so far. So that's why it's not actually out on the market, but I wanted to show you a little bit about this application. It does need much more data than the other ones, but it can give you a lot of great insights into in terms of creating a baseline of your transportation, for example. So in this case, in most cases, you're looking for information from the ERP system. And I will show you here in a while what kind of information, because there is quite a lot that you need to have. You will need to export that into Excel. Excel is actually just the interface of the supply chain maps from LogHub. The calculation is done through server and then returned back. So let's see. So as you can see here, this is the input. So there is a need of a lot of data. You have all these red ones here. They are what you actually need to have. You need to have shipment ID and date and year. You have to have like from location and from latitude and longitude. This will be hopefully made better in application in coming weeks or months. But you will need to put in the latitude and the longitude. That's actually possible by using one of the apps that we have here. It's called geocoding. You would need to have to what country, to what latitude and longitude, distance, weight, and then there is a lot of green ones that is nice to have, but it's really good to have with. So you can see there's a lot of data that you need to put in, and you might have to pull it in from different kind of system. That's often the case, that some of it is in the ERP system, some of it is in some kind of transportation system, and so on. But what you get out from this one currently today is this one here. We don't have actually the dashboard available, but what you will get is each shipment, and it will, of course, there's a lot of data here, but basically it will give you here in the end your final rate that it should be. So you will be generating a baseline with this application. It is as now not currently that you can put in tariff that you have gotten from your suppliers in transportation and compare it, but that will be hopefully the next step to have a comparison application. So as you can see, there's a lot of data in, and of course a lot of data out. And this app will be released shortly, and I'm hoping that it will be improved more in terms of getting a comparison, but it will give you a good understanding of how your cost should be looking in terms of transportation, and however only in European road freight as it is now. So all this application, I would say, combine all together. Use the supply chain map, use the center of gravity, shipment analyzer, and center of gravity. I said it. The shipment analyzer and center of gravity. Put that together in a document, and you would actually, and of course, if you would go for the shipment cost analyzer and put it into a RFQ document that you can use to send out to your supplier of transportation, for example, or if you would like to make a really good presentation for your company. And because in the apps that we have here it's possible to get a lot of data. It's possible to get a lot of pictures and visualization of your network and your supply chain map. And actually that is what I've done in terms of the apps. I've been using it as sending out to when I've been doing a RFQ for transportation. Now I've been talking a lot. Have you, any one of you, been working with this kind of supply chain map or center of gravity or a shipment analyzer? It would be really nice to know if some of you have been working with this kind of similar tools or something. I've been actually thinking about this before but after using the tools from LogHub, I could understand that it's super simple and so easy to use that I would not know where to begin if I would not be using the apps like I've been using now. What I want to do now is I want to show you a little bit demo. I want to show you the application, not do the calculation, but show you a little bit about that. So I will turn this off here, and I will share my screen, and like this, and you should be able to see my screen now, my Excel sheet here. So hopefully you will see that. Now I need to put this down like this. Yeah, now you should be seeing my screen, and like this. Hopefully you will see my screen, my Excel sheet that I have here, and I'll just jump back into my desktop just to see if there is any question. Yes, okay. Let me see. Okay, that's great. So now I'm in Excel here, and what you see on the side is a little bit called the supply chain add-in. So that is where I have all my application. You will actually get this from the store. It's actually free to download, and you will get that. Then what you have here on the home screen is all the application, and you can see it, there is a lot. You have a different kind of colors because these really green ones, they are more like, this is the supply chain map, like I showed you earlier. And you can see, you can have it per location, you can have it per relation, areas, or routes. So there is a lot of possibilities. You can have it per address, or if you have it per latitude and longitude. If you want to find the latitude and longitude, you can actually do that in the geocoding here, where you can put in all the addresses that you have, and just by pressing here, calculate, you will get the latitude and longitude for all the addresses that you have specified in here. So, and by using latitude and longitude, the calculation will be much faster and super simple. So this one, the really green ones, they are more the mapping and distance matrix, isochrone. I don't know if you have been using isochrone. Isochrone is like, it could be, for example, how far from the warehouse or you could get on a car to, so you can understand what's the reach of your location, depending on it could be on a truck, on a bicycle, in a car, so on. It's really interesting app. Then you have the less green ones. They are, in this case, center of gravity plus. Then you have two really powerful applications called network design and network design plus. The difference between those are in network design plus, you can use a lot of transportation information about your routes. If you have, like, sea freight, air freight from different kind of location, and you can input the cost there. It is based on network design, could be like factory, warehousing, and customer. This is one of the most complex app, and it's but it's really powerful. You have the location planning, nearest warehouse, some flow visualization. Then you have some light blue apps, and they are, in this case, the shipment analyzer. And there is a transport optimization. If you're a company with your own fleet, you can optimize your transportation. You have milk run optimization. Live tracking is actually not being used, but it is there. You have the packaging in last mile. You have another app in milk run optimization. And then you have the shipment cost simulation. Then we'll get into the blue ones, and this is forecasting. This is forecasting ARIMA if you have some seasonal trends. This is forecasting artificial intelligence. Those two are forecasting for each article or SKU. But if you are using demand forecasting, then you can be forecasting for multiple SKU. And then we have finally the kind of yellow-green one is more in the inventory side. This is the application that can help you with inventory management, ABC analyzing, inventory simulation, and so on. So as you can see, there is a lot of application available here, and there is more added in gradually, and we can see that I have since I started using it, been more and more application coming in. So this is a little bit short of what's in there of the application. So let's go back here. I will stop sharing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's no problem. This is recorded, so you will get that, Marta, later on. So let's see. Let me open this one again here. That will go back into. It's getting close. I will not keep you too long. I know that you all guys are busy. So, few testimonials about the supply chain apps is, I mean, like one said, it's a Swiss Army knife for logistics engineers. And thanks to this tool, I optimized my company distribution, also simple to visualize data. That's what I like the most of all. And this is an excellent tool for its price tag. And plenty of features with huge potential. And I can say that there will be more and more coming in apps in the later coming weeks and months, of course. Then what I wanted to tell you now is a little bit about my offer, what I'm going to offer you guys that are on this webinar or registered for the webinar. So my special offer is a 90 minutes learning workshop that I will have I have already registered that on the 16th of, I will open the offer here and you can see it below. 90 minutes workshop with no more than 5 to 7 people, where I will teach you in detail about the supply chain maps. And as an extra bonus, worth €600 is that you will get 30 days you will get 30 days pro license with the supply chain maps, because it's possible to have the free version, but then it's very limited in how many lines you will be calculating. But for you who are joining me here on the workshop, you will get the pro license to really see and understand the power of the supply chain maps. And I think you should be able easily to find savings in 30 days, or to learn how your supply chain is looking. And so, I mean, if you feel that this is not maybe for you, I will return your money if this is something that you were not expecting that it would be. But I would say try it out and test to see how much power you can get out of the supply chain maps. And if they're not giving you the results that you expected, then you just stop after 30 days, and you will not be charged with additional fees after that. And I've been teaching people about how to use this application, and I will send out information about what to use and to give you a full use of the time. But this is something that I'm very passionate about, and I love to teach people how they really can use the supply chain apps and can do something like, you know, center of gravity or supply chain map or so on in a super fast way, and save a lot of time instead of being stuck in some kind of older way of doing things. So I'm very curious to see if you want to join me, and I will of course send out this link in an email as well after the webinar. But I'm hoping to have some of you here with me in the coming week. And of course, if you could not make it, it is that same webinar will be recorded. But I highly recommend that join the webinar, be on it, and understand and get the best kind of value for your money. Of course, it's not only 300 euros, it's also the time that you need to invest in this case 90 minutes, plus a little bit, maybe a few hours in understanding afterwards what data that you should pull out from your system and so on. So this is my special offer to you guys, and you can see it. You should be able to see it below, and I hope that I can see you guys there. As well, I'm hoping that you have some, I know the questions, but I have some polls that have been answered here. That's really great. So with that, let me see here. Now I will open the Q&A session. If you guys have any kind of questions, just shoot away and let me know what you think. If you have some comments, or if you think that I missed something, then just let me know. It's always like that I just talk and then I expect that maybe people will understand everything, but that's probably not the case always. So that's why I'm having the Q&A session. And I can tell you that what I did, the most common feature in the supply chain map is actually in the supply chain apps is actually the supply chain mapping. That's the most popular one. Okay, thank you, Tate. And after the supply chain maps, the center of gravity is very popular. We have here a question, David. Are there predetermined data queries established download specific ERPs? Yes, if you're talking about integration, there is a open API. There is an API to a certain number of ERP systems, so it's possible to automate the calculation. But to start with, of course, when you're doing it the first time, so first few times, and you're just testing it out, it is of course a bit of copy paste to understand it. But if you're using it on a regular basis, then it is the connection to a ERP system is highly recommended to make it much more automated. So yes, there is possibility of connecting it if you're asking the integration. I guess that is the questions. But also, if you guys have some contacts that you think that could be interested in this, please let them know. I'll give the details from me, and I'm happy to talk to as many as I can to share this application. Let me see. I guess I will just jump into the next slide. If you have questions, just let me know. So if you want to get in contact with me, or if you have any kind of questions later on, you just can you can send it to my email, david.leifsson@scminternational.se, or just reach out to me on LinkedIn. Or the third one that I've actually not put in here is to answer my previous send out, that you could just reply back to me, and I will take that up. And I think hopefully today I managed to give you some insights in how you can use some really powerful tools in optimizing, or how to get some tools in visualizing your supply chain map and generating RFQ, for example, a really good presentation for your superior or manager, or in some cases also, like, I mean, if you're a consultant, you could use that to impress on the client. So and this is just a sneak peek of what's possible, and that is why I'm having the training session to let you know how you can use it. And by joining up in the training session, you will get the promo license for 30 days, and you will get instruction, of course, on what to dig out of your ERP system, or if you can find some data from old data that you can use, for example, to see how you can use the application in your work. So that is really nice, and to be able to show it. And I guess if you'll be joining the webinar, the training session, you probably have a lot of questions, because there are so many other apps that could be super interesting but that would be actually another kind of webinar for next time. So I guess I'm not having any more question as it is now, and but if you have any questions, just drop it to me. And I would like to thank you all, guys, for listening, and I appreciate that you joined me here in the webinar, and I'm looking forward to further webinars that I will be having. Maybe not as frequent as before, but I think we're getting used to webinars much more than previously. So with those words, I would like to say to you, enjoy the rest of the day, if it's evening or if it's during the day, and I wish you all the best, and you will get this replay shortly in 1 or 2 days. So hope you enjoyed this webinar, and thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you soon.